On the mic, preferably.
2 haikus. Roses, red. Violets, blue. He asked to fuck my mouth, and I said, fuck you. Roses, red. Violets, blue. Forced himself on me without consent. I said,
oh, wow. Wow. Wow.
Statistics tell me that if someone tells you that they were sexually assaulted, then it was not their fault. So if it turns out that his mother molested him as a child, do I still hold him responsible for what he did to me? Do I still call him a survivor? And if it turns out I was raped the second time he assaulted me, how will I be able to forgive myself if I do decide to report, knowing I might put a survivor in a system where it is likely he will be assaulted again? And if I decide not to report, how will I be able to forgive myself knowing I let a predator walk free where it is likely he will assault someone else? And if we're talking about forgiveness, how can I forgive him when I can't even forgive my own legs for not being closed, like my traitorous mouth? Thank you. Okay, so that was not my petty poem. Let me just put that out there. So right about now, I am in Houston right now. Okay,
Yes, you is.
I am. Thank you, Io. Love you. Hello, everyone. I'm Daniel. I like poetry. I got some fresh stuff for y'all tonight. It's all new shit. That first poem that y'all just heard, I've never performed that before. So thank you. I like to think so too. What? So I got some poems for you guys. I hope that's okay. I am running on limited time, so I can't do everything, but I got some shit for y'all. You know what I mean? So hopefully we're gonna go on a journey. I'm gonna talk to y'all about some stuff that's been coming up in my life, in the form of poetry, of course. I'm not gonna bore y'all to death. But how do y'all feel about a petty poem? Petty poem? Okay, cool. Hang on. So, let me ask y'all, before I read this, how many of y'all, show of hands, how many of y'all have short people problems?
Yep.
Okay, yeah.
Yep.
So I'm 5'6", but a man's standards, I'm tiny, you know what I mean? And so I decided to get really angry one day, and I wrote this poem about all of short people problems, because it's the struggle is real, you know what I mean? So this one's called Fun Size. If you're short, this poem's for you. To every asshole that has told me, be the bigger person. I'm only 5'6", they are the bigger person. To every asshole that has told me, you're really short for a guy, you know that? Jesus fucking Christ, I didn't, thanks for informing me. To every asshole that has tried using their height to intimidate me, bitch please, if anything, you are nothing more than a cloud blocking the sun. My day will get brighter as soon as you stop blocking the view. Also, you know that feeling you get when you're so short that your feet don't touch the floors when you sit in chairs? No, you don't. Have you ever walked into the automatic doors at the grocery store because you were overlooked by the motion sensors? No, you haven't. Do you have any idea what it is like walking behind someone up a flight of stairs? Oh, you do? Do you have any idea what it's like having that person's ass in your face? No, you don't. To every short guy, not taken seriously because he isn't 6'4" and broad-shouldered, I see you. To every short girl that has to climb the counters of her kitchen just to get inside her spice cabinet, I see you. To that asshole that tried getting inside my spice cabinet, you see how I'm so delicious. I got you fiending for my recipe like good things. Definitely come in small packages, but yours is too small to open me up. shit. Not because we're so used to walking through yours, but because despite everything, we are the best at being alive. And that, y'all, is what makes us short people larger than life. I always keep looking up, you know what I mean? Like, literally. Oh God.
Stop, John, you're back at it again with the bomb-ass poet.
Yes. Like, can I hear y'all's yasses? Like, can I get a correct yes? Okay. Okay, guys. Okay. So I got some more poetry for y'all, hopefully. Okay, so like this next one, like so I totally write serious poems like all the fucking time. Like if y'all have like seen me at like regional or national level slams, like I'm a fucking crybaby, you know what I mean? Like I just like sob and it's disgusting and it's like I have to like control the snot and everything, like it's gross. So like writing funny poems is like something that I don't do very often, but I try to do more of. So like this next poem that I don't have memorized was like, because like I totally like, I wrote it into like a 4-minute poem and then I was like, fuck that, and then like I shaved it down to a 2-minute poem. So like, yeah, like that's a lot, guys. But I wrote this poem after I had seen a Facebook post. And if this person is watching the live stream, I hope you see it, Ben, love you.
Daniel, people are watching.
Holy shit, is my mom watching it? Oh my god, where's the camera at? Oh, Jesus. Hi, live stream people, I can't even see y'all. Like, it's so bright up here. Mom, if you're watching this, I love you. Sorry for not getting you anything for Valentine's Day. But anyways, so this next poem was like inspired by this Facebook post. Let me ask y'all real quick, like, how many of y'all have heard of like the concept of like a tiny house?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes!
Okay, like I don't fucking get it, but okay. So I decided to write a poem about that after Ben Ari, if you're watching this, love you, like I said, and Amir Safi. So this one's called Big Love, Tiny House. Hope y'all like it. I don't know about y'all, but lately I've been interested in tiny houses. I mean, they're small and cute and pretty affordable as far as living spaces go, but most of all, they seem really romantic. You know, like the idea of being in an enclosed or like intimate space with Amir Safi, I mean your lover, and just doing it, bruh. But then again, you know, I can't really say for sure, because like all the TV episodes that like show these houses being built, have them like being built in like the middle of the fucking wilderness, so I don't really know if that like counts as like romantic or whatever the fuck, but don't get me wrong, I know that like every single episode that comes on MTV or whatever the fuck says that you can fill one of those tiny fuckers with everything you need, and like, yeah, that sounds great, like saving money by downsizing sounds great, but like, I have one question that's never been answered in like the 2.5 episodes that I've ever watched, like, how do you fuck in a tiny house though? like I know that all of the dimensions of the house are shown on TV with some like CGI witchcraft type of shit, but like it's 2017, fam, like what if the bed breaks and the whole tiny house collapses? And what about sex in the shower? Okay, like sex in the shower is kind of overrated anyway, but like what if Amir Safi and I want to have a freaky wet t-shirt contest and we can't because there's 0 fucking room in the goddamn shower? And this isn't a metaphor. It's just not, because low-key, I don't know why anyone would want to do that, because it's kind of nasty. But like, what if I wanted to, you know what I mean? Like, what if I wanted to have a sex party? Okay, I don't think I'd actually do that, because like, what would my mom think? But like, what if I wanted to have a threesome? And I mean, depending on people's height and weight and genitals, there might not be enough room in the bed that we just broke, or wherever we're gonna fuck, and what kind of threesome would that be if there was no room? And threesomes are only good if 3 people are there, and everybody knows that, so I guess, what I'd like to know is, where would I need to get my freak on if I'm in a tiny house? And is the Missy Elliott reference necessary in order for this to happen? And if I can't, should I just go out with Safi and fuck in the wilderness?
Y'all, this is the awkward part of the feature where I interrupt, okay? And I talk about Daniel's... Daniel, do you have merch for sale?
I do have merch.
What do you have for sale?
Okay, I have 2 chapbooks.
Okay, 2 chapbooks, how much are they?
Okay, so like shipping's a bitch, right? But one of the chapbooks is on its own would be like $12.50, and the other one is $10. However, if you want to do a deal with me, I'll sell them to you for like $20.99. How about that?
$20.99.
Only $20.99.
Yes, Erica.
Do you take credit card now?
I do take credit card. I have the square thingy, so
Alright.
there's no reason not to. Give me your money.
Okay, so Daniel's gonna be hanging out after the show. Come say what's up. Come buy his merch. If you don't want to buy his merch, or if you also want to buy his merch and help him get back to the DFW area, alright, it costs money. He needs gas money. He needs some food, right? So I'm gonna pass around this tip jar. I'm gonna let him keep going. Are y'all liking what he's doing so far? Alright, I'm gonna shut up. I'm gonna pass this on.
I got some money for that, buddy.
Thank you.
Use it on tacos. It's the best thing.
Yes.
Tacos are my body
Y'all are too much for me. You know, guys, it's the day after Valentine's Day. I'm freezing my ass off up here. Y'all laughing at me about tacos. Like, it's too much, guys. So, right now, it is currently February 15th, according to the world. And so, this month, well, officially like next week, is we're gonna like slow it down some, right? And we're gonna get a little bit more serious for a minute. But next week is, I believe, it is considered it's a certain like awareness week for a particular mental health issue. In particular, it's called an eating disorder. So next week is National Eating Disorders Awareness Week. And I don't want to get too into detail about things. I'd rather let the poems speak for themselves. But this is a poem that I very recently finished, hence the new shit thing. But this is also your trigger warning for those that need it. But this next one is about. I decided to write within the context because I've written the eating disorder poem. You know what I mean? Like I've done those poems, but I've never explored what it means to me as a person that is in recovery from an eating disorder within the context of my race. Like, what does this mean for me as a brown person, as a person of color, as a queer person of color? There's very much the stigma associated with eating disorders that the only one story gets told, and it's typically the white anorexic female story. And that's not the case for everyone. Mental illnesses don't discriminate at all, and it didn't discriminate when I got it. And the best part about that, though, is that like recovery doesn't discriminate either. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Your life is yours. You are your own kingdom. So if there is, and I promise you, either you know someone or someone you know knows someone with an eating disorder. So please, if you are affected by any of these things that I talk about, if you've struggled, if you've been there, if you need someone to talk to, find me after the show. I like hugs. Hugs are important. But I'm gonna shut the fuck up because I take up too much time just like talking, and like I could go into like everything. But I'm just gonna do this poem. How is that okay, guys?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. One. Even though you're Colombian and the dessert is Mexican, when the half-white boy asks you how you can call yourself Latino for not knowing what a sopapilla is, do not cry. Most importantly, do not throw up the sopapilla. 2, when the white girl with anorexia scoffs at the intersectionality between mental health and race because she clearly doesn't see your color, do not throw up. 3, your body will always be under question. 4, you will always have to fight for your right to take up space. 5, your skin is an afterthought to the recovery movement. You will always be misrepresented because you represent diversity, and diversity speaks for itself, so don't try to speak for yourself. Besides, your Spanish has always been a dance of 2 left feet. No matter how hard you try, you're only good at getting out the food, not the words. They only ask to borrow your body, not your voice. 6, they will look at your body in broad daylight, and they will never see your illness. Illnesses like these belong to white women, and only white women get to have recovery. They will tell you there are multiple pathways to recovery, but most of them are the ones who got to go to treatment. They will only see brown skin spilling everywhere. They will only see body and fat and body and fat and fat and fat and fat and fat and fat. 7 brown boy. I know what you're thinking. We've been here before. You are too much and not enough in the same bite. Your heritage would deny you because your mouth is stained with all this anorexic American dream, and your homeland would let you die because there are no ribs as proof after all. Brown boys don't get eating disorders. It will be easier to silence yourself with your fingers, to swallow the bitterness and spit it back up. And when your blood turns to snow and hunger is thick inside your bones, every question you ask this body will always be the same one. How dare you want so much, brown boy? I know how badly you want to leave this body, because it would be so easy to leave this body. But 9, fuck that. The only language this body knows is brown boy. Brown like the earth beneath your feet, like dried blood and skin, like every strand of hair that fell from your glorious crown every time you were bent over a toilet. Brown like arroz con frijoles, like full plate, like dance, like sunset and survival, like sunrise and revival, like every war your ancestors fought, fished out the razor from the toilet battle axe. These hands and slit the throat of this illness that thought it could swallow you whole. Get the fingers out of your throat. Stop trying to shoot the color out of this skin. How dare you try to burn down the empire you've always lived in. Don't tell me you can't get better. Brown boy, this is your body. Take it as the gift it is. Look at everything it has survived and call it freedom, call it weapon, call it inspiration, reason to keep living, recovery, home, love, fight, flower, spring, alive. Call it still fucking here. Call it yours and yours and yours and yours. Because what is an eating disorder in the face of all your magic? Brown boy, what is an eating disorder to he who is giver, receiver, and bearer of everything that has always belonged to him? I like poetry, guys. How are y'all doing? Are we doing good? Okay, cool. Okay, I don't partake in the alcohol, but like, how many of y'all are drinking? Okay. Yeah, that's great. Tip your bartenders. Come on. Please and thank you. Give it up for like all of y'all self, please. Y'all are amazing and beautiful and fabulous. And please give it up for Juan, the DJ, everybody. Thank you, Houston, for like, listening to me spit shit out into the universe. Hoping that the universe responds back. I don't know. Hi, Mom. I don't know if you're still watching this, but yeah. So I got a couple more poems for you guys because I know that I'm probably running out of time. I figured. I think I'm running out of time, Erica. But I got a few more poems. It's very rare that I do 4-minute poems. Mostly because the standard in slam is like 3 minutes, like no matter what, but then like, let's put a 1-minute poem in this slam, like okay, whatever, because I didn't just spend my entire life doing this one thing, but okay, whatever. But it's not very often that I get to do 4-minute poems, like longer pieces, that I get to sit with on stage. It's very like scary getting in front of a mic and doing poet things. But this next one is a love poem. I know, like post-Valentine's Day, it's a legit love poem. I know, Erica, I know they suck, but, it's Valentine's Day, you know what I mean? Like, it's the day of chocolates and premarital sex, I don't know. But yeah, no, this is a love poem of sorts.
Love poem.
Thank you. No, but so I actually wrote this poem. It's actually really old, but I've never performed it, like ever. So it's like old shit. Old new shit. You know what I mean? Yeah. Thanks.
It's still a little bit warm, but it's been in the toilet for a while, so it's about time to flush it.
Yeah. I think so. No, but I wrote this poem about a year ago. God damn it. Oh my god, I'm making an ass of myself on YouTube. Shit. But I wrote this poem about a year ago. I met this person, and he has been a complete blessing to my life. He has taught me more about love and living than an entire lifetime's worth. This is not to say the whole I wouldn't be here without you kind of thing. No, it's nothing like that. But my world would be considerably darker without him. So I'm gonna give y'all this poem that I've never written before, or that I've written. No, I fucking wrote it. That I've never performed before. Like I said, love poem of sorts. I'm very grateful to have him in my life. I wouldn't be the person I am without him, you know. This one's for Joseph. The first time I laid eyes on you, I held you in a hospital on a Thursday afternoon when the sun was still bright enough to filter through the window. Your eyes opened and I sensed an old soul in you. But I've been wrong before, because when I held your weight in my hands, you were young. Your father, see, he is good at making noise, but he don't talk much. He will seem like he is pushing you away. He is not. He will need space. When I say that he will need space, I mean he will need galaxies. Just wait. He will come out of his head. He always does. Your mother will be your very best friend. She will tell you things that you won't like. She will love you large enough to fill one of your father's galaxies, and there will still be space left over, I promise you. There will be space left over. So remember your father and how he held you, wept for you, sweat for you. Your mother, how she prayed for you, how she cleaned and bled for you, how she carried you, how she pushed to bring you here, La Morena, blessed body of all the love that will remain long after God makes her a star in the sky. I don't make demands, young boy. So remember your uncle and how living was the only thing he ever demanded of you, and that you live your life as you are, because you are who you are, and that you never apologize for who you are, because you are all that you have in this life, because you are built from all that is worthy, because in the course of your life, young boy, people are going to try to bring you down. Do not ever be one of them. Know that happiness lies in the syllables of your own name. It is the most powerful and beautiful word in any language. Never forget that. So teach your father how to be a good man. Teach your uncle how to be a good man. What is a good man, young boy? Tell us. Tell us how you saved us from the wreckage of this lineage, this scarlet inheritance, this lesson on blood and memory, how first limbs in this new world grew from soiled body where seed first took root. Tell us how you give a pair of young men a reason to reject death and yet somehow praise it for the life that breathed in it. Maybe the reason I am still alive today is so that you could teach me how to carry you. Maybe I learned how to carry you so that I could learn how to carry myself. You are my favorite piece of poetry. So carry the hands of those before you, hands that will guide you, remember you, protect, hold, and love you, and carry you to where you will go from here. like got emotional for some reason in that poem. Like I've read the poem a bunch of times, and like that has like never happened before. At first, I don't know, maybe it's the first time. First time always sucks, so they say. But that was a joke, you guys. Thanks for laughing, guys. I don't know.
You did great.
Thank you. I appreciate that. No, it's just I get lost in my head sometimes. Like I'm saying one thing and I'm like, you know, I'm in the parking lot. You know what I mean? Like I'm not like here. But I do suspect that I am just about out of time. So with all of that said and all of that in mind, I got one more poem for you guys. Okay, cool. So this is one more 4-minute poem. It's a long one, sorry. If you don't like it, suck it.
We all love it. Fuck it up.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You are beautiful. You are beautiful. Thank you. You're all beautiful, okay? First of all,
I'm just a little bit beautiful, more beautiful than they are.
Beautiful-er? Yeah.
I got it.
You know, I can get behind that.
Information.
I'm sorry.
No, but, okay, so, like, how many of y'all have been to, like, a poetry slam? Okay, like most of y'all are lying because y'all just sat through a poetry slam. So I want to see everyone's hands up, please, and thank you. How many of y'all have been to a poetry slam? Okay, cool. Okay, how many of y'all have like been to like a larger scale poetry slam, like a national one, a regional one? Okay, cool. So this is like the one poem that I'm gonna give y'all some backstory for, because it's like low key kind of important to the poem, but like not really. So very recently, I came back from the Individual World Poetry Slam in Flagstaff, Arizona, yes. And I wasn't there for this particular poem because I was competing in a different bout. But a friend of mine, a very good friend of mine, who was a finalist at last year's Texas Grand Slam in 2016, so if you're watching this, you know who you are. But I was at this poetry slam, and my friend was volunteering in this bout, and a poet went up on stage and said she did a poem, and it was very much like the whole like hit your abuser back kind of thing, the kind of thing that gets people killed. And so basically she did this very like harmful poem. And I wasn't even at the bout, but I heard about it secondhand, and I managed to find the poem online. And it was very just like totally shocking and very hurtful, and I got so angry that I had to write a poem about it, you know what I mean? I never thought that I would write this poem. I've never wanted to. I didn't think that I was ever going to touch this subject in poetry. I've touched on it in other, mediums and stuff, but not here. Mostly because being, in slam, like the mic is just so freaking scary to just like let go completely. But as shitty as that poem was, and it was very shitty, and if they see this, you wrote a shitty poem. No shame. But I had to write this poem, and I performed it once at a slam near where I live, and it was like, I've sat with the piece long enough in order for me to like memorize it and stuff, and like, edit it, and like, just like engage in like the creative process with it enough times to where it's like, I haven't changed much of the content, but like it's not the same poem, you know what I mean? So Houston, I wanted to make this really special for Valentine's Day, but this is basically a new poem that I've never told the story that's related to it before. Thank you, Houston, and right about now for listening to me. Thank y'all for calling me. Y'all are beautiful. I know I'm probably pushing time already. Love you, Amir.
Time is a linear concept.
It is. But thank you, Shaspere, for the words. Thank you, Nora, for the words. And this one's for my mom. After Lauren Perry. There's something to be said about the girl at the poetry slam that says battered women play the victim violin. Says her grandmother told her, if someone hits you, you uppercut that bastard square in the face, because that doesn't get women killed or anything. There's something to be said about the girl at the poetry slam that tells battered women to pack a bag. Just go, no more staying, or else you'll just be another statistic. That my mother is just another statistic, just another battered woman, just another Latina with 2 kids, 2 jobs, too many bills to pay, and too many bruises for anyone to notice. And the girl at the poetry slam is saying that my mom should just leave, as if he didn't crash her car or steal all of her money or drag her back inside by her hair, as if you could just stop loving the ocean despite all of the times it has tried to drown you, like the cycle just ends when the relationship does. And for the first time, I don't want to write about this. I don't want to write another poem about my body and how it becomes my mother's body, or how my daddy loved me so much he kicked my mother's belly when she was carrying me. And is this not love? What else do you call a failed abortion if not a miracle or a curse? You see, the last time I went back to my abuser, he sexually assaulted me again. And this is the part of the story where I tell you I didn't love him, but I loved the idea of him, and we weren't dating, but we were friends, and he didn't hit me much. And this is the part of the story where I tell you, Mom, I did everything I could to stay with him because I didn't want to leave. And he kept begging me to stay with him. So I stayed with him even after he left. He left, Mom. I stayed. I didn't leave like you did. And to that girl at the poetry slam that would tell me, oh, you're so pretty when you cry and how hard he loves you, I'm telling you, right now, keep my mother's trauma out of your mouth. I love you, Mom, because my mother is the reason I can speak out against my abuser. I love you, Mom, because every time I think about killing myself, I love you, Mom. I hear her voice asking me to stay just a little bit longer. I love you, Mom. So before you tell me how weak I am for staying, I'm telling you right now, keep my trauma out of your mouth. I love you, Mom, because my mother and I cry and sweat and bleed and grow and rise and survive and rise 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 and rise, and neither of us are playing a fucking violin. I love you, Mom. Thank you guys so much.
Give it up one more time for Daniel Garcia. Like I said, he's going to be hanging out. He's got merch for sale. And he likes hugs as well, so make sure those are considered. Are y'all ready to find out who is the Pettyweight champion of the world?